BHP billet and operation at Mount Whaleback is one of the world's largest in terms of iron ore production, and the equipment used to recover the ore is necessarily on a monumental scale. On-site dump trucks can haul loads of 240 tonnes in one hit to the waiting crushers, but even these are considered small fry when compared to the company's railway operations. Since its inception in 2001, Powertrans has built several hundred specialised prime movers as well as powered and non-powered trailers, and it is interesting to note that the company introduced its tractors around the same time that Volvo, Mack made the ill-judged and no doubt much regretted decision to cease production of the heavy-duty Mack Bigfoot. The Australian-owned manufacturer offers a choice of two heavy-duty prime movers, the T1050, powered by the 630 horsepower Caterpillar Acert diesel, and the larger T1250, which has the Cummins QSK 19, rated at up to 750 horsepower under the long hood. Powertrans also builds powered trailers, which incorporate a Cummins diesel driving through a fully automatic Allison gearbox to Axletech or Sisu hub production drive axles. The second power unit is used in order to get the combination moving from a standing start, on steep adverse gradients, or whenever traction is compromised. Some Powertrans combinations also feature a powered dolly, and this is positioned under a non-powered trailer in place of a conventional dolly. The powered dolly is easily spotted in any multi-trailer operation and is clearly visible on at least one of the West Turner Powertrans combinations. Operating at around 500 tonnes gross, the T1250 Powertrans combinations working at West Turner offer several important advantages over the traditional off-road dump truck. For one thing, they are narrower, meaning that the cost of building the haul road is considerably reduced. Payloads are also greater, and driveline components used in the construction of the Powertrans road trains are available off the shelf in the event of a mechanical failure, resulting in fewer periods of unscheduled downtime. Although the Powertrans T1250 is the vehicle currently favoured at the West Turner mine, a few off-road Kenworth C540s are also used, and these units too are backed up by a powered trailer. Notification of several oversized load movements, which would take place at night throughout the whole of September 2012, was posted in local newspapers and other Pilbara media early in September. The loads in question originated in this instance in Port Hedland and were bound for the BHP Billiton Jimblebar iron ore mine located near Newman. Contrary to the usual procedure whereby oversized loads are prohibited from travelling during hours of darkness, the Jimblebar loads were so huge that it was decided that moving them at night would cause less disruption to other road users than moving them by day. The largest of the three loads was hauled by two brand new Kenworth C909 6x4 heavy-duty prime movers. These featured Kenworth flat roof sleepers and Aussie-style purpose-built ballast boxes. The impressive ALE tractors were powered by a Cummins 600 driving through an Allison fully automatic gearbox to finish-built Sisu FR2P hub reduction drive axles. Interestingly, the Allison transmission is not a factory option at the Kenworth Australia plant, and consequently these items had to be retrofitted by the Australian Allison dealer Heavy Automatics. Most of the crew members and drivers engaged in the ALE move from Port Hedland to the Jimblebar mine were Australians, although a couple of mechanics and engineers from the UK were on hand. The giant steel structures were moved by ALE in conjunction with Mack Titan tractors supplied by haulage companies Centurion and Eagle Cranes. In the southern hemisphere, the twilight zone lasts about 15 minutes only, and a few seconds after the sun dipped below the horizon, it was already pitch black. The big prime movers were dwarfed by the loads as they made their way out of the lay-by and joined the main road. The journey to Jimblebar would take all night and was considered highly unusual, even in an area where exceptionally large loads are commonplace. At the Rio Tinto mine in Tom Price, some 20 to 25 million tonnes of ore are extracted every year. This is then crushed, screened and processed before being taken by rail to the port of Dampier, where it is loaded aboard large bulk carriers.
At the end of day 4, we've just arrived at the Oski Roadhouse just outside of Regina, which is about 200 kilometres south of Port Hedland. It's very popular with the drivers here. Allegedly there's lots of heavy haulage getting here, but they don't leave Perth until the weekend, so they won't be up here until Monday or Tuesday of next week, so we'll have to revisit this later.
The facilities at the Oski truck stop are a little less refined than those at either Mount Magnet or Capricorn. The prevailing wind ensures that everything is quickly covered in a liberal coating of red dust blown in from Port Hedland. Evidence of this may be seen by the fact that each new truck that arrives leaves a fresh set of tracks behind it as it parks up. Nevertheless, the area provides drivers with a chance to take a shower and maybe even down a beer or two. And in facilities are more than welcome. And throughout the night a steady stream of fuel tankers truck on by, hauling their precious cargoes from the tank farms at Port Hedland to the numerous mines in the area. The astronomical volumes of fuel used by the mines are scarcely imaginable, with more than 1 million litres disappearing into the dump trucks, excavators, loading shovels and site vehicles every single day. Meanwhile, the general freighters and bulk carriers laden down with ammonium nitrate maintain similarly busy schedules. If you're a truck driver in the Pilbara at the moment, there's not much time for a rest. Such is the demand for iron ore that a fleet of 4-trailer road trains, capable of grossing in excess of 170 tonnes, is employed around the clock, 365 days a year, hauling product from the Wodgina mine to Port Hedland. Configured as 2AB quads, the combinations are headed up by tri-drive Kenworths and Mack prime movers. Some of the equipment appears to have been acquired complete from the Doug Gould fleet, which was centred in Kalgoorlie, while the newer rigs have been purchased specifically for the task at hand. Trains are loaded at the rate of 19,000 tonnes per hour, and every day 12 loaded trains, each carting 42,000 tonnes of ore and measuring 3.75 kilometres long, make their way along the 426 kilometre track connecting the mine to Port Hedland. This is the largest privately owned railroad anywhere in the world. Here, the ore is stockpiled prior to being loaded aboard ships capable of carrying up to 300,000 tonnes. As we have mentioned before, the scale of the operation is nothing short of mind-blowing, and similar operations undertaken by Rio Tinto serve only to confirm the astonishingly sophisticated methods of mining and transporting high-grade material. So here we are at the end of our Western Australian Odyssey, an adventure which lured us into the famed Pilbara and which confirmed beyond any doubt reports that the area is indeed booming like never before. For truckers and truck lovers alike, the region offers unique opportunities. The entire west coast from Perth to Port Hedland is teeming with heavy trucks, and we were able to capture all types and configurations at a variety of locations. Macks, Kenworths, Western Stars and Volvos dominated the scene, but we also spotted the occasional Freightliner, Mercedes, Ford, Iveco and even a Scania. The configurations were almost too many and too varied to recall, with 2 and 3 trailer road trains, mixing it with B doubles, AB triples, B triples, BB quads, AB triple quads and 2 AB quads. What do you mean you never noticed? And of course the heavy haulage scene really does defy description. The heady mix of Australian, European and US built tractors and trailers hauling everything from a dump truck chassis to a much needed piece of mining apparatus. If oversized loads are your thing, then a trip to the Pilbara is a must. It would be impossible to mention iron ore and the Pilbara without making reference to the vast numbers of heavy-duty dump trucks and bucket loaders which work in the mines themselves. And foremost amongst this highly specialised equipment are the Australian-built Powertrans prime movers and powered trailers and J. Smith's powered dollies. But it is truly a case of once seen, never forgotten, and perhaps that phrase can be equally applied to the whole of Australia's unique and overwhelming trucking scene. Words alone cannot convey the size and scale of the equipment, the distances travelled, and the spirit, determination and camaraderie of the hard-working drivers. So we hope that this film will in itself pay tribute to all those involved.